Welcome to Peep This Out Reviews with Ian K.
Stay frosty.
Burger King is taking their coffee quality and selection to a whole new level with their brand new BK Café. So I thought I'd take one of those new selections to see how it compares to a favorite that I just happened to enjoy from, well, you know who. And that favorite, as you already know, is vanilla iced coffee, my go-to drink of choice. And now it's featured prominently under the BK Café branding, which includes an upgraded coffee recipe which features 100% Arabica beans, and of course a nice selection of goodies here. I wanted to start off with the vanilla iced coffee because, like I said, this is my go-to. Looking nice and creamy for sure on this one. We've got some vanilla syrup. Of course, we've got the cream. It definitely looks a lot creamier than the McDonald's variant, which actually smells a little bit more richer in coffee, believe it or not. It's a little bit darker at the same time. The same 100% Arabica beans are featured here as well. We've got that vanilla syrup and, of course, the cream to go with. 22 ounces are in this cup from McDonald's there, but for this particular one from BK, it's looking like it's just a little bit smaller. But considering this is not really filled to the top, I want to say they're pretty close actually. This is maybe 16 to 20 ounces roughly, and supposedly 22 ounces here, but I think they're pretty much neck and neck. Flavor-wise, we're going to get into it and see what it's all about, but I got to tell you guys, the coffee is a little bit stronger when I smelled this after popping the tops on these from the McDonald's version, with a creamier aroma coming from the BK version. Guys, let's see how these actually compare head-to-head in flavor. It's the vanilla iced coffee, brand new under Burger King's BK Café brand, going against McDonald's McCafé's iced coffee as well. Let's peep out this flavor. What do you say we start this one off with the OG? Definitely a stronger aroma of coffee when I pop the lid to get ready for those close-ups. Here we go. It's my go-to from McDonald's McCafe, their vanilla iced coffee. Oh yeah, nicely done. Thankfully, this is a pretty nice balance today, and there have been occasions where I've been to McDonald's and sometimes it's a little bit more skewed more towards the coffee side, sometimes more towards the cream side, and you're really tasting like you're not really having a balanced drink. The grittiness of the coffee comes through sometimes more. You need a little bit more sweetener, but sometimes it's a lot creamier than it needs to be, and I'm not really tasting any coffee whatsoever. It's like a very sweet type of cream drink, if anything. But I have to admit, this is a nice balance today. I'm really getting a nice flavor from that coffee coming through, as well as the cream itself, and the sweetness is on point. Tasty. Very nice, I have to admit. It's really my go-to for a reason, and I do love it. Now, I know when you're under the weather like I apparently am at the moment here, this is probably not a good idea to be drinking cream at all, but I have to admit this is an addiction for me, and it's one of my favorite types of drinks, especially as we're approaching the hotter days. Even though we're in the middle of winter right now, it is all good. Very, very delicious and very familiar for the flavor that I always get here at McDonald's. Definitely a treat. You know, as sad as this is right now to say, no matter how sick I'm getting, apparently, I am not going to give up my iced coffee from Mickey D's because it is a favorite, like I said, and it's just so delicious either way. But hey, that might change now that BK has their rebranded BK Café in effect, featuring 100% Arabica beans as an upgraded recipe to their existing coffee. This is actually a nice upgrade, and I have to admit, I really like this cup actually. Gotta love the crown on the top of everything here. This is actually really good. Let's give this a go and see exactly how tasty it is. Here we go with Burger King's version of their vanilla iced coffee as part of BK Café. Oh wow, that is a lot sweeter, a lot sweeter. A lot more cream than anything else, wow. I was just talking about how sometimes it's skewed more towards cream when you get the stuff at McDonald's, at least for me. This actually is pretty much like that right now, guys. I'm not really tasting too much coffee with this. It's flavorful though. That vanilla is really, really smooth. I don't want to say this is like a cold brew type of coffee, but it really is a little bit richer tasting compared to the McDonald's version. I'm not really getting a lot of coffee flavor, but just a very smooth, creamy, velvety type of smoothness to it there. It's nice. That's the best way I can describe it. It's smooth and creamy, but again, not really strong in the coffee department. I really would like a little bit more of the back end to be more of the flavor of coffee. I think that's what McDonald's does very, very well when the mix is balanced. But this is a lot more creaminess as well as the flavor of vanilla than anything else. But I like it, don't get me wrong, it's just very, very creamy. And again, with me being a little under the weather right now, it's probably not the best thing for me either. I do like it though. As my voice is beginning to go, thanks to all the cream in this one, I have to admit I do like the flavor of it, although I do wish the flavor of the coffee was stronger. So I think going back to get this again may give me a better result, but as it stands, this is a lot more creamy vanilla than coffee than anything else, and I do think the coffee stands out just a little bit better on the McDonald's version, at least for today. But guys, this is still pretty flavorful. The vanilla is good. And hey, if vanilla's not really your thing, you do have a mocha version of this iced coffee you can get as well, in addition to a couple of frappes, which also feature mocha and caramel, I believe. And of course, they have the regular coffee too. But the big draw with this is naturally the 100% Arabica bean upgrade compared to what it was before. I think it was Seattle's best they were using prior to this. So this is a step in the right direction for sure. I only wish this version out, I was able to actually taste the coffee just a little bit, but I will be coming back to get this again. This is actually tasty on its own. Well, as you can see by this final close-up here, the BK's version is a little bit creamier looking compared to Mickey D's, so obviously the coffee is standing out a lot more for McDonald's this time out, and the balance is really, really nicely done today. But I do have to admit the vanilla is nice and strong on the BK variant. I only wish the coffee stood out just a little bit, but guys, not bad whatsoever, definitely flavorful. So clearly, based upon these two versions, I think you know which one I prefer overall, and considering the points that I mentioned on why I'm going to say what I like better, I think it should be fairly obvious considering I can actually taste the coffee a little bit more in the version from McDonald's, aside from it being just a little bit cheaper overall as well, and that's not including the fact that I didn't get a full cup this time out. Overall, it's just a nice balance of flavors. So with that in particular, the McCafe version of the vanilla iced coffee from McDonald's, it's a rock solid 9 out of 10. It's still delivering that familiar flavor for me today, aside from the fact that, like I said, the cup was not quite as full as it could have been there, but overall, a very, very nice value considering it's only $2 for a medium, and the balance of the flavor worked really well with a nice hint of vanilla, not quite overpowering, but I can still taste that coffee. But when it comes to the BK Café version, that one definitely needed a boost in the overall flavor of the coffee itself, and considering the flavor of the cream and that vanilla was pretty awesome in general, I can only imagine the flavor of those Arabica beans coming full circle when they mix together evenly. But unfortunately, it was just a little behind the curve today in terms of the mixture, and the fact that the size was a little bit smaller and the cost was a little bit higher, it's a little bit hard to recommend it if you've got two of these guys side by side. But don't get it twisted, because these drinks are never 100% no matter where you get them. There's always a little bit more of one thing in one compared to another, so I'm really hoping the next time I get this, it's going to be a lot stronger in that coffee department. But as it stands, it's still pretty tasty. So based exclusively on my experience trying the vanilla coffee for the very first time with this upgraded recipe here at BK, I'm going to have to give their version of their vanilla coffee here as part of BK Café just an okay 7.9 out of 10. This one already has some pretty high quality supporting players already in place, guys, with the cream and that vanilla syrup. All it needs is just a little bit of stronger amount of coffee to really balance it out a bit, and then you have a winner right there. But hey, if you ask me, the price just needs to be a little bit lower, just a little bit considering the size of the cup. But guys, the flavor is good. I would recommend giving it a shot, especially the mocha if you're down with that.
Come try BK Café, only at Burger King.
But now the obvious question, are you down with any of this right now? Drop some comments down below. What's your favorite version of vanilla coffee from any of the fast food chains out there? And by the way, who do you personally think has the best version of it? Drop those comments down below and definitely let me know. And with that, this is Ian K closing out another episode of Peep This Out, bringing you brand new content every single week here on my channel. So why you stay tuned for the next review coming real soon. In the meantime, stay frosty. Hey, competition's a great thing because in the end, we all win. I mean, it's all about choice, right? So no matter what BK and McDonald's decide to come out with next, let's face it, their rivalry is legendary and we've got a lot of fun stuff to look forward to in the future. All right, guys, until next time, I'll talk to you soon.